right, welcome to episode 22 of the Action Takers podcast. I'm your co-host Nate here as always, and we always got JC with us. How you doing, buddy?
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
Dude, I'm not doing well. Okay, I've never sweated so much in my life. I went out and played golf for the first time in a couple weeks, and it was fucking 100% humidity, and I looked like a wet seal. I was wearing a gray shirt and made a huge mistake. I'm out on the golf. Like halfway through the round, I went into the pro shop to be like, I might need to buy a shirt because it was getting to a point where the shirt was heavy. Like I could have wrung it out. There was so much sweat, and it was,
oh man,
it was disgusting. But I was playing such good golf that I just couldn't leave. I couldn't quit. I think I shot like an 82 or 83, and it was just playing really good golf. So I'm doing good. I'm sweaty. As you can see, I was sweating earlier. But I'm doing solid. How about you, buddy?
Same. It's been 100 degrees plus the past, I don't know how many days. It's still going to be 100 degrees for a couple more days. So yeah, fucking just everywhere you go, it's fucking hot. Every time I get back in the car, it sucks for the first couple minutes. But yeah, I'm doing great. Just powering through, trying to get more momentum, trying to, take massive action. It's kind of one of my things trying to do right now. And just keep going and doing things. It's a crazy time right now. We got all kinds of crazy stuff. You spend any time on social media, you don't know where the world's going, where the country's going. So it's just good stuff all around, I think.
Dude, it's to a point where like there's certain social media platforms I don't even hang out on anymore. I open the app up, fucking post my videos, and then I'm fucking out. Like you said, you sent me a fucking clip, and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't check any of that shit because it's just, it's overwhelming and it's fucking discouraging. Like I was paying attention to shit, and I'm like, this is just negative. It's just all negative and it's just fucking me up. So, dude, like we talked about last week, I took some action and I implemented some fucking like kind of lifestyle goals or like some traits I wanted to have. And dude, it is kicking my ass and literally kicking my ass because I almost shit my pants today. Like, dude, it was to a point where I'm on this all like, I'm doing the fucking carnivore diet, right? And that, oh my gosh, I was in a meeting with my neighbor smoking a cigar and it just hit me. And I was like in pure, oh God, please don't shit your pants in front of your fucking neighbor. Like that would be horrible, Like that's not how you want to start your week.
No, not at all. It's crazy. Like I've been trying to do more of that, right? Like just basically meat, rice, and fruit. It hasn't hit me like that. Maybe I'm not eating enough meat, but
you got that rice to fucking settle you down.
Well, because I'm just trying to bulk. If I just did fruit and meat, I don't know, I'd probably be. Which is probably good too to freaking get more lean, but. I'm really trying to bulk up. So, I don't have that problem yet, but I'm really trying to, eat more meat.
Dude, another thing I started doing was, we talked about on the last show, was meditation. And I Googled it. It absolutely nothing that we thought it was. Like smoking weed, not allowed. Talking, not allowed. Like trying to have any like real specific thoughts or like concentrated focus. Nope. It was all about like, focusing on your breathing and kind of emptying your mind and just essentially letting your mind like wander. And dude, it worked. Oh my God. I've done it 3 days in a row and it is fucking amazing. Dude, the stories have popped up in my head that I hadn't remembered in years. Like to a point where I was back in the Correctional Officer Academy. And all I kept thinking about was sugar cookies. And if you don't know what sugar cookies are, in like military, police, that kind of stuff, what they do is they turn on the sprinklers in a fucking grass field and you do calisthenics or you do a workout and you work out for about an hour. And then they decide, okay, as you're soaking wet, you've got, 30 pounds of water on you. Now we're going to make sugar cookies. So they would run you to a dirt field and it was usually like an empty cornfield. So it was that fucking fine dirt and it would just fuck you up. Then you would work out in the dirt and you would just get covered and they would call you sugar cookies. So as I was meditating, I was just fucking dying laughing. And it's surprising. I try and get my kid to do it. And he's not into sitting silent for 10 minutes, which is, we're working on it.
I mean, did it help with the relaxation? I mean,
Oh yeah,
or is it more just
dude.
really, helping the thought,
It was
stuff?
almost it was like almost taking like a fucking 3 hour nap. Like I felt fucking like energized. Like it was I usually I get up, hang out with my kid, work a little bit, and then I because I'm doing this intermittent fasting also. I usually work out at 11. I usually jump on the rower for 30 or 40 minutes, and then I stretch for 10 minutes, and then I meditate for the last 10 minutes. And I lay down on my back. I put my feet up on a chair, and I cover my eyes. And dude, it is like I'm just like it's like I took a giant nap and I'm fucking energized. Like I'm ready to go. Like I got a whole nother burst of fucking energy, which is pretty fucking remarkable.
All right, so it's 10 minutes. Is there anything else specific that you recommend or that you're supposed to
Dude,
do? I mean, are you supposed to be laying down, sitting? I mean, what else with
it
that?
was like the explanation I got was essentially get in a comfortable position that you can be in for a long period of time and you don't move. So like I'm like I kick up on my fucking chair, get my feet elevated, and then I fucking put my hands to the side, close my eyes, and I just try and focus on my breathing. So I do this thing called combat breathing, which is you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold that breath for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds. And it essentially just pumps oxygen into your fucking brain. And really, like, it just makes everything clear, dude. Like, I've gotten a lot of, like, clarity in the last couple days, which is exciting for me because I was going down a path where I was like, fuck, like, I don't really know what I want to do in life. I got Shopify stores. I got a fucking maintenance business. I got a fucking storage unit. I mean, we're buying rentals and we have an Airbnb thing. And we've got all these fucking things going on. And in the last couple of days, dude, it's just made me way more focused and have more energy, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's something I'm going to take up then and try this meditation thing. I mean, if it's working that well, really, sounds good.
Dude, it fucking the silence. Just oh my god, finding a silent like which is rare in my household because I've got a 3 year old, so he's playing with trucks and fucking singing and screaming and stuff. So when I find that 10 minutes, like dude, it is pretty remarkable. I highly recommend it. It is not as it's not the hippie thing I thought they were doing. So
I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, because people have a wide range of thoughts on whether it's meditation or how you're talking about just taking that time to be grateful for things or however you want to call it with that time to yourself essentially. So that's awesome, and it sounds like I'm sure a lot of people get some benefit out of it. So
hopefully.
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
What are you doing to take more action? What does that mean? Is there like have you created a list? Did you buy another journal? Like what do we got? What is an actionable action you've made in the last couple of days?
With so the thing with I think taking the more action, it's hey, okay, cool, you're taking action now, right? Like, all right, you're sending the emails, you're going to the gym, whatever it is you're doing, cool. We got that out of the way there. You're actually consistently taking action. But what it really is saying is that you or we just don't take enough action. We think that taking action alone is going to help us, but we got to do more, right? It's not just making the 5 phone calls. We got to be making 50 phone calls, or not just sending the 5 emails. We got to send 50. So all it is that we need to do more than we think we do. And it goes across everything, right? Like we think, oh man, we need $100,000 a year. No, you probably really need $500,000, dollars a year. Everything that you think you need, you really need more, or everything you think you need to do, you got to do more. So it's really now just getting in that mindset of, okay, I take a lot of action, but doing more with that action that I take. No, I haven't got lists, but it's just when I'm doing my things, like when I think, okay, cool, I did this amount, kind of implementing the Ed Milet's book of, the power of one more, right? I always think of that. And he's talked about in this podcast too, of just doing one more. I try and implement a few more, but yeah, with that, like whether it's working out, doing the reps and saying, okay, am I really exhausted or can I get one more rep in? Can I, do one more exercise, one more set, doing everything to help with those end results. And no, because I think it's a thing once you say, okay, I did this much, but doing more, then realizing now I got to do more. Because even that, like, let's just say you write down, I'm gonna do 40 things, do those 40. Well, you know what? I probably got to do more than those 40 that I wrote down. So I don't know. I haven't implemented writing these lists down of with the numbers, but maybe you could try it and then just add to it. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? That, whatever you think you need or need to do, it needs to be probably a lot more than that.
Uh, my biggest thing is like, and we would do this with our football players, the SWAT team. Um, we would do like kind of like a look back, or we would kind of analyze the shit that we did either that mission or that week, and we really fine tooth comb, hey, what worked and what didn't work. And I think if you implement that more in your life, where you take a day, you take 10 minutes out of that day, and you just reflect on the shit that went on in the week. I think you'll find the holes a lot more, and I think you'll hold yourself more accountable. And I think if you kind of set those small goals every single day and kind of look back and go, did it work? And really analyze it and really get into kind of more the data and the stats on it. Because I think that's where, in business, at least, it's about numbers. Like, it's a numbers game. Like, if you need to make 100 sales this year, how many phone calls is that? Is it 100,000 phone calls? Is it 50,000 phone calls? Is it 100 phone calls? And I think, once you start like kind of documenting your days a little bit better, I think that would be a good way to look back and kind of figure it out.
I think that's good, right? I mean, because everything is statistics, right? Like, especially in sports, like I said, especially in business, it's always looking at the numbers and why. It's a good thing, why don't we do that more in our life? Most people don't, right? I mean, I know I do make my list, and I'll kind of, okay, did I get my tasks done? But yeah, really analyzing with those lists what you did, what you accomplished, what were the results of them, saying, hey, if I worked out, I don't know, 20 times 30 minutes, what was a change for that? Like I said, weekly, daily, monthly. Yeah, I think if we analyze more, probably give us more insight to what we need to do. Is it enough? And do we got to take more action?
Well, and I think it breaks down. So like when you're able to look back at the data and you're able to look and analyze, like the coolest thing, like I don't know if you guys can see it behind me, but I have a rower, and this rower fucking tracks every single time I get on the rower. Like as soon as I sit down and fucking pull the cord, it started the tracking. And you can go and look back and go, okay, shit, like, day one I did, 5,000 meters and I almost died. It took me an hour. And now I'm up to, in an hour I can do 12,000 meters. And it's one of those things that, you look at, and I think I specifically, I need to implement that more in my life where, I'm documenting more of my journey, because when you do that, you find the 80-20 rule in your life, like, because 80% of your wealth is going to come from 20% of your action. It's just the way it is. 80% of your headaches are going to come from 20% of your customers. And if you analyze that and you keep track of that stuff, and you actually, on maybe a daily or a weekly, basis, you analyze that stuff, the statistics, I think you'll find the patterns that you need to double down on, or 10x, or, take more action on.
Definitely. I totally agree. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that most people don't do is writing things down, no matter what it is, right? I mean, you talk about this, and I've been trying to implement it, is always having like a journal, a book, a notepad, something around, because whether it's having those ideas you got to write down, whether it's tracking your goals, tracking your daily tasks, writing those down. It's something that I think we all need to do more, is writing things down and keeping track of stuff. And I think there's a lot of benefit to doing that, and just being consistent about it. That's probably the hardest thing. Even if you start doing it, making sure you're always being consistent about it, whether it's, writing your schedule for your day, even though days never go to plan when you write them out, there's always things that come up and change. But yeah, implementing, writing it down, just saying, hey, in the morning, I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing this, or at night, I'm going to spend 10 minutes, or every Sunday, writing out your stuff for the week, or for the month, the beginning of the month or the end of the month. I think that's great recommendation, great thing to do, and really implement, to really change things. and help with that action taking is writing stuff down.
Yeah, I think so. And because I'm one of the things that like that kind of that I look at, and I look at like this great to-do list I draw out, and it really I list all kinds of stupid shit, like I list like make a to-do list. Oh, I can check that box. Like I just feel like sometimes if we could analyze, or if we could organize our to-do list in a different format, in a different way. And I saw this, I can't remember who I saw it from, but the framework is essentially shit that needs to get done now, and then there's shit that needs to get done in the next while. And if you organize those two lists, you're not so pressured to get everything done. You're not going to get guilted when you're still on page 1 and you haven't done 1 through 5. It's because that 1 through 5 is, you want to own 100 rental properties. Well, that's going to take some fucking time. If on the list is, urgently, hey, I need to make 10 offers a week, well, that's a little bit more practical and a little bit more obtainable. So I think if, the way we organize our to-do list, I think will set us up for success.
Agreed, right? Because having those time constraints also helps. And with that, that's I think it was Elon Musk who said this, or it's been a thing that was going around. Like if you say, "Hey, I'm going to clean my house in an hour, or clean my house in a day, or in a week," right? You'll do it within that time constraint. So putting time limits on these things like that. Hey, I'm going to make 10 offers in a week. Okay, like you said, it's manageable, and you're going to do it. You can also though do 10 offers in a day. I mean, right? That's a possible thing. And either way, you're going to get it done if you put that time constraint on you. So it's a thing too that we sometimes need to put a time constraint, so we'll actually get these tasks done and not procrastinate. Because a lot of them too can be accomplished within a short amount of time. We just, for whatever reason, a lot of people like to procrastinate, and we'll put additional time on them when we really don't need to.
Well, and you also like focus on shit that like it doesn't matter. Like it, there's certain things that I look at and go, okay, how do I automate this so that I don't have to worry about it, and or have to make that a thing that I need to fucking check off. And I think a lot of times, like for example, like our storage facility, 9 out of 10 of our bills automatically come out. I don't even have to fucking think about it. I don't have to worry about dates. I don't have to worry about late fees. I don't have to worry about fucking collections agencies. It just gets taken care of because I take care of the, collecting the money and depositing in the account, and then it goes out. But that one bill literally is the power company bill, and they expect me to write a check every month. Okay. And I swear to God, I've been late so many times. I got to call them like on a freaking Friday afternoon, like, hey, fuck, please don't charge me the overdraft fee. It's, let me give you my credit card over the phone. Oh, well, that's a 3.5% fee, and it's like, fuck. Like if I could just automate that, it would fucking eliminate all of these problems. So I think, implementing that automation is a unique way to really kind of hyperspeed your fucking to-do list, or your the tasks that you want to get accomplished.
Definitely for things that don't need that extra attention. Which, just to side note on some of it, some companies are too much on the automation, where I'm like, you forget about the bill, you don't get a call, and all of a sudden, like it's been so long, and then you get like a random email like, hey, it's been like 2 weeks. You're like, oh shit, why don't people call anymore to collect the money? I don't, you know what I mean? Like used to, I feel a few years ago, like used to get calls like, hey, you haven't paid us in a week. Like now, like it'll go forever, because I think it is so automated. And all before you know it, you got late fees, or you got just shit going on, which is, you don't mean to, but shit happens and you forget. But the not calling on stuff is just kind of interesting, and I think that has to do with too much automation, right? Because they rely on these sending out letters, or sending out emails, or sending out texts, and sometimes they don't have their systems correct, so you're not receiving any of this stuff, so you have no idea that you're freaking late on your bill, and they don't call anymore. So just a little rant on the having too much automation is a negative thing too, right? Because people do like that personal touch though, right? I mean, you do want to have that face-to-face interaction, or even just voice-to-voice interaction. So I think automation is good for certain things, but you still want to focus on that human element for certain parts of your business or life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Absolutely. But I think, there's certain things in our lives that we can just, fucking, figure it out. I mean, there's an email sequence that I just haven't done yet. And it's crazy to think that I could just do it once. It would be set, and then I would have to never send these fucking emails ever again. And it's just like, God, I just got to get it done. You just gotta block off some time and fucking put the time restraint on it, like you said, and fucking just get it accomplished.
Exactly right, and that's one thing that you can, but take you an hour or 2 hours, and it's something you can just put on to do in a day, right, and get it done. But all of us do this, all the time, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's doing, accomplishing our goals or things that we need to do to move forward. But procrastination is one of the bad things that we all deal with. That, and it's funny too, though, and it's for certain things, right? Like certain things you will not procrastinate. You'll just freaking get done. Whether, like you said, you're working out every day. There's no me. Sometimes maybe I won't go in the morning, but I know I'm going to work out. Right? That's just one of those given things I'm going to do. But then there's those other things, whatever the task is. It could be such a simple task, but you still are going to procrastinate, push it off, kick the can down the road, as they say. So it's kind of funny how our brains work, our minds work to logically, kick things down the road. But some things we make sure we get done.
Well, it's usually the things that, at least for me, like the things that I get done are the things that excite me. I'm like all jacked up. Oh yeah, fuck, I'm gonna analyze this deal, no problem. But am I gonna send the thank you cards? I'll wait. I'll maybe find someone to do it. And it's like, hey, dipshit, like take care of the small stuff. So I agree with you. So you talk about this action taking, like, and goal setting, and I think it's something that we don't talk enough about, and not just you and I, but I'm saying like the world. A lot of people are hesitant about expressing what they want out of life, and I think that needs to be kind of broken down. Like the big idea or the thing that scares the shit out of you, or the dream or the goal that you have that is embarrassing to tell people. Is there a goal or dream that you have that's embarrassing to tell people that you would love to get accomplished?
I mean, I don't think any of them are embarrassing. It's one of those things that we have these goals that other people. Yeah, it's not so much embarrassing, but other people just might not think of it, right? Like, I want to own a Lambo, right? And most people, the average person, is going to think that that's ridiculous. That's not going to happen. Whatever it is, like I said, that's just one thing. But yeah, there's a lot of them are these like crazy goals of like tons of, whether it's accomplishing financial goals, whether it's certain things you want to buy. Yeah, so whether it's going to certain places, doing certain things, yeah, I don't think as far as just embarrassing, but it's some people just don't or might not, want those things or think they're possible. So it's that kind of thing of it's just you don't tell certain people because they're just not in that same mindset. And so just on a side note, kind of similar about this in talking about things. I follow a few amount of realtors, and this is no hating on realtors, but realtors are one of the few people that like can so I saw them like, oh, closing on this house. They're one of the few people that like brag or show the most on their wins, and why don't other people or like where it's acceptable, right? Like, I don't know, if you post every time you sold something, would people be like, okay, we don't need it, we don't need to see every time you pressure wash the house, JC, or you locked a big deal, but realtors do that all the time, and I know why. It's like, hey, they're trying to show that, hey, I can sell your house and do all this thing, but it's just one of those few industries or groups of people that definitely post their wins a lot, as far as just selling houses, which, like I said, is kind of just on a long line of talking about goals or things and accomplishments, and just an interesting thing I noticed the other day, or really just kind of sat back and thought about, like, they're one of the few people that post that stuff all the time, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, at least, realtors I know, they love to tell everyone like, oh, we just closed the deal. Got a big check coming, see this big
You're
ass
right.
house. I dropped off a fucking $12 bottle of wine, and they fucking they gave me a $6,000 check, and you're like, you motherfucker, like, I just paid you I just paid you 6%. What are you doing? But no, I get it. I think, as I make fun of realtors, I'm friends with the realtors. I thought about becoming one. I don't think I could pull it off. Um, but I think a lot of times, like, I think realtors do a really good job of self promotion, and because it's their livelihood. And I think if more people thought about that, I mean, if the more people knew that you ran an organization that could post social media posts for you, design a website, and fucking organize your email list and send great copy to everyone, fuck, you might have more customers, right? So like,
Yeah.
I think self promotion. Oh my god, it's telling people the uncomfortable, like, hey, this is what I do, because I struggle with it too. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's to a point where, like, my golf podcast, people are like, oh, you have a golf podcast. I'm like, it's kind of like rated R. I don't know if you should listen. And then people listen. They're like, dude, it's really fucking good. Like, why haven't you told me about this before? And I think oftentimes we need to act. Yeah, you do need to act a little bit more like realtors, and you do need to, fucking brag about it, because if you don't, probably no one else is.
Well, and like you're saying, and it's not, like I said, it's not hating on them. It's just one of those things that where they do all that, do all the self promotion, and where most people don't do enough of it, or whatever, where it's not seen as a normal thing in different industries, right? So like I said, it's a great thing. It's what needs to be done. But just a side thought. What about you though? What goals do you have that you're embarrassed to tell people, or don't want to tell people, or what do you got with those?
My Lamborghini is not a Lamborghini. I'm a car guy, but I'm not a car guy like that. I would love to own a Ferrari, but I'd be so stressed out fucking pulling into my driveway. I would just have a panic attack. My Lamborghini, my big ballsy dream, is owning a boat that I can live on and can go around the world. These particular boats, one, they're not sailboats, they're not catamarans. It's these called trawlers, and they're called Nordhavens, and these fuckers are like $1.2 million for a used one, with 1,000 hours on it. But the thing can go fucking around the world, and you don't have to worry about sales. You just hit the gas and you just fucking go, and pray you don't fucking hit a shipping container or a fucking tree or fucking a dolphin. And so that's like long term, like that's one of my embarrassing goals in my life, that people are like, what? You want to live on a what? You want to do a what? Like a yacht? And I'm like, well, it's kind of a yacht, but it's like, a yacht that, is a little more rugged, and looks like a battleship, and fucking can sail across oceans. So that's one of my embarrassing things. But also I think, like, another thing that it's crazy. Like, whatever I focus on and whatever, like, I find that I'm really into, all of a sudden those opportunities start coming about. So like, the storage facility, like, I'm into storage, but at the same time, like, I don't have millions of dollars of capital to go out and acquire all these facilities. So I kind of stopped looking, but that's a horrible idea, because if you find a great deal, like, it's, you could turn around and sell it. You could sell a contract. You can do all kinds of stuff. But yeah. So my other big crazy dream is that I'm not embarrassed, but like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. I want $12,000 a month in passive income, like, where I don't, like, I might have to do collections like once a month, but other than that, I'm not actually doing anything. And for me, that's how I get through, we do it through real estate. So that's my other goal, is 12 grand a month. I figured I could live a great life anywhere in the world on 12 grand a month. So that's kind of my embarrassing goal.
Well, back to the storage units. When I was listening to Grant Cardone, he was talking about before he had all these properties. I mean, that's what he was doing, right? He was talking about, he was looking at tons and tons of properties every single day, right? Going to them, looking at them, doing everything he can. In that sense of, he didn't have all this capital then, when you start doing it, but it was the education, if there was the right deal, it was preparing him for what he does now, So for anyone, whatever you're passionate about, definitely keep at it, keep looking at it, keep doing whatever it is, even though you might not be able to do it instantaneously at the moment, but you want to just keep on that education, on that learning, on that seeing what's out there, right? because maybe that sweet deal does come along for whatever reason, and want to be able to jump on it and make it happen.
Well,
But
I
I'm
mean,
thinking,
go ahead.
no, and I would say on your second thing, I think you're a little light. I think you had like, 10 times that, right?
What,
120,000 a month. $120,000 a month.
$120,000 a month? Oh yeah.
Come on.
It No, I agree with you. But at the same time, what is scary, right? Is like, I know 12,000 is very obtainable. Like, I know people who have done that. I've read their books. I've fucking talked to them. I've been in their masterminds. I've been to their conferences and stuff. And it's one of those things that, like, fuck, I know I could get there. And that's, you're right. Because, like, the other embarrassing goal is like $24,000 a month. Like, if you have $24,000 a month, and you're not even in the 1%. I think you'd be in the 1%, but at 12 grand a month, you're not even in the 1% of the top earners in the United States, because they make $450,000 and more. So I agree. I completely agree with you. 120, like, yeah, I mean, like, what is, but also I also measure, like, my fun level. So, like, ideally, I only want to work like 9 months out of the year. I'm a big fucking high school, kind of schedule. Like, I want the summer off, okay? Like, I want Christmas break. I want it to fall into the new year. I want, spring break. I want all these holidays, So I've been trying to figure out a way to do that. And that's probably another embarrassing thing, which I think is doable. That's why we talked about Bali, last episode. Another beautiful island nation, the Philippines. Been looking into that also. You could, for $1,000 a month, you could be a fucking rich badass.
Yeah, and it's really nice there. It's supposed to be really clean because they have like some freaking strict ass rules about things. But
you'll go to prison if you spit gum on the ground or something crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Which we could use a little bit more stricter things to get the U.S. a little bit nicer, right? Maybe we had some certain things implemented, or just enforce the things that we already have implemented that we just choose not to enforce and anymore. Get the streets cleaned up and hopefully not so much homeless. There's a thing they put out, like the homelessness in Sacramento is up like crazy amount of numbers in the past year. So it's just it's just sad, but at the same time, it's like we got to do something about it too, because you don't even want to go out anywhere or drive anywhere because streets are dirty. It's just, you want to walk around. There's stuff all over the place. Another tangent.
No. So I've got some stats on that. I pulled up some of these stats that I got from one of the fine folks who send me, one, they're smarter than me. One of the rules that I live by is hang out with smarter people. And if you hang out with smart people, they'll just send you smart information. And then you're like, oh, now I have that knowledge. Like, I didn't even have to work for it. They went out and built it and fucking did all the research, and I just consumed it. So let me read off some of these numbers, and I want your opinion on it. Okay. So the headline of this article is "A Sick and Stupid Nation." So let me go over the numbers. 43 million Americans can't write a letter. 43 million Americans are functionally illiterate. 98 million Americans can't do basic math, even with a calculator. Let's see here. Meanwhile, 70 million Americans are obese. 99 million Americans are overweight. 133 million Americans suffer from at least one chronic illness. Does this just scare the shit out of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know what episode we talked about personal excellence. I think a lot of it has to do with that people don't hold themselves to a standard, right? I mean, that all that is to me is just personal excellence and standards, right? People don't read, people stop exercising, people just eat crap all the time. I mean, and we were kind of talking about it. I think pre-show, just of other nations and their them wanting to progress and catch up to us, and where we have become very entitled as a nation because we have all this great success for these decades, and where now we suffer because we become lazy, because we don't care about personal excellence, because we don't have these standards anymore. and I think that's a result. All those numbers you just read off is a result of just no standards.
Well, I think those numbers are incredibly accurate because there are now fat girls on fucking billboards showing off clothes. And you're like, 15 years ago, that would not have fucking happened. There would not be hefty people on fucking billboards showing off an Old Navy fucking thong. Okay, it just wouldn't happen because we don't want to strive to that. You know, it's like, a fat LeBron James playing in the NBA. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen because that isn't what a fucking great human being looks like. And I think oftentimes we have to stop doing certain things to essentially like reward being fucking fat and lazy and illiterate and fucking not being able to do basic math. This shit is taught in schools, and it's not taught in fucking ninth grade. It is taught in second and third grade. Like the average reading level of an American is like a fourth grader. So it can't be that difficult.
It's not, but once it have knowing, kids in high school and from even elementary, the standard is crazy. What we had to do in high school and passing tests and stuff to what kids have to do now or don't have to do is crazy. Like that's whole part of it of this, like, hey, everyone gets a 10th place trophy. It's the same thing in school. Everyone's going to pass, you don't, like that's all it is. It's just standards. Standards have come down so low across the board, across everything, whether it's schooling, whether it's health, whether it's at work. I mean, like you hear people complaining like, oh, no one comes in on time. Like people call out all the time. And I mean, it was bad when, years ago, and it's even worse now. So it's personal excellence needs to go up. Personal standards needs to go up. Because if not, then we can suffer, as a nation, right. Like eventually, someone will maybe say, "Hey, you know what? We want the United States now. We want all your natural resources. We're just going to come in and those numbers maybe will be worse, right? Or maybe it's 50% of the population is overweight, not just I think you said 70 or 90 million. So that's probably about a fourth of it right now.
About 170 million, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it is closer to half already. Well, maybe it becomes 3/4, and then what? Like, unfortunately,
well,
I think
I know exactly what needs to happen. Okay, they need to start taxing fat people. Okay, if you like, right? I mean, fuck, like you're costing America millions of dollars in healthcare, billions of dollars in healthcare. Like, if we just focused on, instead of selling you bad shit, and focus on selling you good, healthy stuff that actually is fucking worthwhile, I think it would solve this problem. I think half of America needs to go to fat camp, okay, and learn that chocolate, okay, is not a fucking morning snack, okay? It's like some fucking fruits and vegetables or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, stop going through the McDonald's drive-through lane and getting 3 McChickens, okay? Because they're about 12,000 calories, all right, you fucking moron. It just pisses me off. But at the same time, you look at it and you're like, this is a great opportunity. If you're somewhat self-motivated, you have some fucking personal excellence, you're gonna look fucking damn good. I can promise you that.
Oh yeah, I mean, whether it's work, whether it's whatever you're doing, it is so much easier right now to stand out. Like it's not even a thing. Like, go to work, show up to work a little bit early, make sure you stay, a little bit late when you're actually work. When you're at work, actually work, yeah. And it doesn't take much. Go to the gym for 45 minutes a day, eat a little bit more healthier. Yeah. Cut out. And then all it is convenience. I mean, that's why so many people are running around doing things. It is freaking, it's been a minute, but yeah, it's convenient to go through Wendy's drive-through or Burger King or McDonald's or whatever the place is. It's fucking convenient, and that's why people do it. On the other hand, you don't look and realize, yeah, you just freaking ate almost your whole daily, calorie intake and all these other intakes in one meal, whether it's sugar because people aren't getting the small soda, they're getting the large soda, they're getting the large fry, they're getting all that stuff, and just just throwing it in their face. So it is fucking, it's sad, really, what it is.
So what I mean, it is sad. It is sad, but I think oftentimes like the super wealthy or the rich in our country get a very bad rap, and I think if you want to be rich in this country, it's very very doable for many many years, because I think you can stand out above the average line, and it's not hard to do, and it doesn't take brains. You read a couple books about it, you watch a couple YouTube channels, you pay Nate and I to counsel with you, and you're gonna have a fucking roadmap to make $1 million a year. You're gonna make million. You can make millions of dollars in a year. It's not that crazy.
No, I mean, and it's all starting small. And changing where you, it's like, well, the first thing is the sign you want to change, and then doing the small steps. And a lot of people don't want to change, and that's why it is what it is. I think the most ridiculous thing, and they talked about all the time, obviously what it used to do, but I mean, just seeing people in certain professions that are overweight and just look sloppy, and you're just like, you do that, like it's you're not supposed to look like that, and it just is crazy that certain things, yeah, you gotta be fit, or you gotta do, yeah, look a certain way to even do the job. So it's yeah, no matter what it is, and anytime you see people that just aren't trying at what they're doing, you're just like, you can't take them seriously, I guess.
You definitely can't. It's always funny, like when like everyone's like, oh, you can't judge a book by the cover, and you're like, I think everyone does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh
Like
yeah.
if if you hire a roofer and he looks like he is about to fall off the roof, you're probably not going to want to hire that guy. Now, if you've got a fit guy who can fucking scale a ladder no problem, you're probably pretty confident in his abilities. And it's about looks. And hate to say it, but fuck, it is about looks. It is about what you present to everyone else in the world, and how you're going to be perceived and how you're going to be treated. Because if you show up, unshaven like I am, fucking wearing an Under Armour shirt, sweating my ass off here in my office, it you're not ready for the game. You're not dressed to impress. You're not fucking ready to get after it in life. And can you make millions of dollars in flip flops? Absolutely. But I think oftentimes, if you're a healthy individual doing healthy things, you just got such a big advantage on everyone.
Yeah, and even with that, I mean, someone is just doing that. The actual work, you got to practice as well, right? I mean, we got to do more, and then when it's actually time to work, right? We got to, like you're saying, you got to read, you got to study whatever it is that you do. You got to, are you listening to podcasts? Are you putting in that good stuff with your time, or are you spending it? Not that listening to music's bad, but are you spending it listening to music? When you eat, what are you eating? It's just all these little things all add up, and I think you've got to really decide, hey, where do I want to go? Because and that's another thing. I think with the what kids are taught in school, and the thing of like, it's okay to come in 10th place, it's okay to be overweight, it's okay, all these things are okay, and then when you get into the real world, it's really not, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
just like you said, if you show up as a roofer, or show up as I don't care what the job is, right? And you have maybe your shirt's untucked, and like I said, you look sloppy, you look like you just got done eating McDonald's, and then there's someone else that's more professional looking. I mean, who are you going to go with? Whatever service you need, right? You're going to be like, this guy, I don't know about this guy. So you're going to go with the person that looks more professional. And like I said, people are so everywhere. It's, oh, that's acceptable, it's okay, but it's not. When it really comes down to it, being that, not having a high standard is not acceptable. Those people, you aren't going to get, be successful. You're going to get punched in the face, because you're going to find out like, oh shit, I'm not doing good. So yeah, having high standards, it matters.
Well, and I think it's also about like just getting small victories. Like, instead of driving through the fucking McDonald's, Happy Meal line, like just go get a sandwich or go choose a healthier option and just get a victory. Just get one victory a day. And those things fucking add up. It's crazy how they add up. Like I put in, I rode for 5,000 meters and that last 1,000 meters, I feel like I'm going to die. But once I get to that 5,000 meters, I'm like, I could probably do another 5. Like, it's crazy. You get a small victory and then all of a sudden your brain goes, oh no, you're going to get fucking worn out. And then all of a sudden you talk yourself into being fat and lazy. But at the same time, like, you can trick your brain into doing all kinds of cool shit.
The small victories are big. Like, so I haven't drank any type of soda. I was drinking a lot of diet soda, I think it's been almost 2 weeks now. There's those times I look, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me just have one. It's been a week. It's been a week and a half. But those small victories, like I physically know, like, hey, I'm not drinking soda, even diet soda. It's just, I know it's bad for you. Yes, those small victories every day, knowing when you look at it, when you walk past it in the store, when you walk past it in the gas station, when, it's those small victories do matter. They do add up. And no matter what it is, yeah, just start small. Cut the soda out. Cut that candy bar out. Like you said, when you think, hey, I'm going to go to McDonald's right now. No, let me not do that. Let me go get something else. Let me go get go into the grocery store and get a prepared healthier meal, sandwich, whatever it is. It is. So those small victories matter. They add up, and yeah, don't make less of them than what they are. Because that's my small victory right now. I think it's, like I said, 2 weeks without any soda, and I'm trying to keep that going. So it's vital.
Well, and dude, I was sitting around and I was listening to someone who was just complaining about how they're overweight and they're gonna make some changes, and I'm like, hey, like maybe you wanna tag team this diet, like you gotta give up alcohol, you got to intermittent fast from 12 to 8, and you're only gonna eat meat products and fruit, and they're like, yeah, I just, I don't know if I can pull that off. And you're like, well, fuck, then why are you even bitching? Just be happy fat then, okay? Like, stop complaining. Don't bring up your fucking, your tire around your waist. If it's not worth your time to fucking even entertain changing. So for the people out there who want to change, congratulations. Make the decision and go for it. And get a small victory. But for the people who just talk about it, you can fucking put your head in the sand. I don't even want to be around you. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm giving you free knowledge. It just drives me crazy.
Exactly. And if you want more free knowledge, subscribe, like, comment, share the show, recommend it to someone. I think we dropped a lot of good knowledge freaking today. So I want to make sure everyone definitely shares it, likes it, subscribes, whatever. Help us out. Help us grow the show.
Yeah, it's something where you can find the link in the description below, and you can sign up for our newsletter where we dish out incredible content every single week, break down frameworks, very similar to what we talk about here on the podcast. As soon as we get a couple subscribers, that'll be a weekly thing, I'm assuming. And just please help us grow the show by sharing it. And if you want to buy us a coffee or a cocktail, or Nate, not a soda, maybe like a wine spritzer. I don't know. What can you drink right now? What are you? If you're not drinking diet soda, what do you? Iced tea? Okay.
Iced tea.
Is it like sweet tea, like Southern Georgia,
no,
like I'm from?
I've been drinking some unsweet tea. Don't get me wrong. I've had a couple sweet ones, which but at the same time, an unsweet tea actually is not all that bad. No. When you haven't had soda for a while and you're like, you just want something besides the water that you drink all the time. Unsweet tea is not bad.
I'm with you on that one. Yes, absolutely. I drink, I like tea. Tea's I'm not a big coffee guy, but if you want to buy us coffee, there's also a link below if you want to pay us for every video we dish out. Dude, on my other podcast, I got reached out by OnlyFans. Some, Derek from OnlyFans sent me an email. It's like, hey, I think you guys would be a great candidate to be, start making money on OnlyFans. And I'm like, this is a golf podcast. This isn't a porno podcast, is it? What, did you not listen to the episode? But
I think they're trying to switch or transition to other things besides that type of content, supposedly.
So let's ask the viewer. Let's ask our audience, like, if you think we should be on OnlyFans. That's the real question.
Yes. OnlyFans, where you can get exclusive content about how to take better action in your life.
Yes, Nate and I will be shirtless, but that's you have to pay for that content. Yeah. Anyways, all right, Nate, dude, we gotta wrap with that. I gotta get to bed. Really appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right,
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.